new season is most likely going to be related to the 7th moon, same moon that we went to get the mech robot. Apparatus at Rumble Ruins has been studied very carefully by Dr. Sloan. Recent update has showed us that the apparatus will be completed, the map of the stars will be projected in the sky, and the map will show us this moon spiraling towards the island is most likely going to crash. On the island we will have a bunch of evil creatures that used to be frozen on the moon. Now, to understand this, we have to go all the way back in chapter 1 season 7. Please leave a like, subscribe, and use code SMJM for 5 months of good luck. Chapter 1 season 6, we see this mysterious robot show up on the map. He was first seen in Flush Factory. You can notice that this robot's bottom half of the leg was frozen. The direction where this guy came from, people start to notice a storm approaching Fortnite Island. As we approached end of season 6, this storm was getting closer and closer. We noticed that this wasn't just a storm, it was an iceberg. The only part of the ice that we could see in the storm was this giant chunk of ice, and we see a castle on top of the iceberg. Little did we know there was an evil monster hidden inside of this giant ice. Chapter 1 season 7, the iceberg crashes into the Fortnite Island. Half of the island is completely frozen. The castle on top of the mountain is revealed to be Polar Peak, and it belongs to the Ice King. When we go inside the castle and talk to the Ice King, he reveals to us a dark secret that can affect us next season. He reveals to us that him and other elemental kings froze up a bunch of evil creatures and weapons in his kingdom. Also, we find out that the Ice King isn't just a king, he's also a warden to a prison. In this prison, the Ice King froze the Fire King. The Ice King reveals to us that the Fire King wanted to use the monsters and weapons rule the entire realities. Ice King slowly starts to notice the Fire King was slowly getting corrupted, so he freezes the Fire King and keeps him at prison in the dungeons of the Polar Peak. But somehow he managed to escape. As a desperate attempt to stop the Fire King, Ice King freezes the entire Fortnite map, knowing that obviously the ice is the Fire King's weakness. But it completely fails because the Fire King summons a giant volcano. During chapter 1 season 8, Ice King goes missing. The Fire King wreaks havoc on the map. Using the volcano, he destroys Retail Row, Tilted Towers, also frees this monster. It's been frozen inside of the Polar Peak mountain. Ice King told us to protect all realities, he had to freeze all of these monsters and weapons. He decided to transport all of these weapons and monsters on a frozen moon. This frozen moon is located at Reality Zero just outside the Fortnite Island. But there is a giant cosmic storm and part of the moon gets ripped apart, along with a bunch of meteoroid that we saw in season 4 that destroyed Dusty Divot. They all crash onto the Fortnite Island. That is how this monster ended up on the chapter 1 map. Just before the end of season 9, we noticed that monster is missing. He's no longer in Polar Peak. He somehow managed to escape. The entire Fortnite map starts panicking, knowing that there's this monster out in the open and he could attack at any moment. So the Imagine Order, with the help of Singularity and Paradigm, builds this giant robot to fight against the monster. At the end of season 9, we see the monster attack the Fortnite Island. The robot, using the power of the 0 point, manages to defeat it. In season 10, during the live event, we see a bunch of rockets appear out of nowhere, create a giant black hole, continuously see these rockets fly in and out of Fortnite's map, not having a clue where they were going or where they're coming from, until we get the chapter 3 live event. During the collision event, we find ourselves Outside of the Fortnite island for the very first time, we find out that there is this moon. We find out that the Seven's main headquarters is on this moon. Also, this might be the same moon the Ice King was talking about as well, where he froze a bunch of those monsters. Because if you remember in chapter 1 season 4, when the meteoroid crashed onto the map, one of the 7 members, the visitor, was inside of the meteoroid, and it's most likely everything on this moon is going to be crashing into the Fortnite island. Chapter 4 season 3, there is a giant earthquake. This ancient world is revealed, hidden underneath the ground with old temples, Optimus Prime, and Dr. Sloan. Dr. Sloan reveals to us that she has been studying this area. She thinks that something evil is coming to the island very soon. She talks about the apparatus, which is this telescope slash projector. Dr. Sloan has been rebuilding this projector. This projector will reveal to us a star map, shows a circular object spiraling towards the Fortnite island. Lots of people are suggesting this might be the Cube Cradle, which is this giant UFO mothership that we saw during the live event of chapter 3. Projection the apparatus is going to show us in the sky is actually a real-time view of the space. Everything that you see, the stars and that circular object flying towards the island, is not just a video, it's actually happening in real time. Now, if it was the Cube Cradle, it would not approach the island in a spiral motion. It would obviously just fly straight at you. Also, we know that the Cube Cradle travels with a bunch of smaller ships to protect itself, as seen in the live event when the Cube Queen opens the portal, revealing us the outer space. And we think it is the ice moon that is spiraling towards the island. The moon obviously is not a spacecraft, it's just spiraling because of the gravitational pull. Also in the file there is this spiral shape, and it is named Moon Guide. So at this point it is pretty much confirmed that this object is in fact the ice moon, and we already have a bunch of images that got leaked of how next season is going to look like once the moon crashes on this island. One of the artists Epic Games work with to design the map leaked a bunch of unknown locations, but Epic Game makes him take everything down, meaning we weren't supposed to see these images. So out of all the images, this one stands out the most because you can see this icy location, and just like the Catus monster, it looks like at this location there are frozen monsters. You can even see a kraken. Did Epic Games make the artist remove these images because these are the locations that we are going to get in the future seasons? If this is true, it looks like our next live event might include a giant monster again. Should I say monsters? Remember, Ice King did say he froze a bunch of evil monsters and also weapons on the ice moon. I believe next season we are going to see these monsters and weapons frozen inside of the ice. Every update we will start to see the ice slowly melting, revealing these evil monsters, just like how we did with Catus. Also, it can't just be a coincidence that next season takes place during Halloween. Having these evil monsters all show up on the map during the Fortnite Mez update makes a lot of sense. Also, these monsters the Ice King froze are from different realities, evil villains. What if some of these monsters are related to the Lost Reality? We can hear the name Lost Reality being mentioned countless times in chapter 4. Based on different theories that we know that the Lost Reality are on their way as well. Also, if you look at this Ageless brand new skin that we found in the survey, you can see Ageless wearing this giant coat. That is to prepare for this ice moon. Also, there is this theory going on right now that this Fortnite chapter 4 island is stuck in a loop, so everything that happened in chapter 1 is happening again, but in reverse. If you look at chapter 4 season 2, it was futuristic, Neo Tokyo themed. Chapter 1 season 9 was Neo Tokyo themed as well. Chapter 4 season 3 was jungle themed. So was chapter 1 season 8. Chapter 1 season 7 was the Polar Peak icy themed, where we got the monsters. At this point, it just can't be a coincidence coincidence that we are getting all these leaks suggesting to us that next season is going to be Icy Moon themed, where we're going to get a bunch of monsters. Now, to defeat these monsters, we are going to need all the help that we can get. It looks like Dr. Sloan is going to be one of those helps. She's already studying these locations and then the apparatus. Hopefully, we'll find out that the foundation is on the Ice Moon, because we know that the Seven's base is on there as well. Maybe Ice King might return and help us as well.